Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the One Question Session. I'm glad you guys are here. Today we've got a good question that I get asked in a lot of different ways. So I'm thinking this could be helpful to a lot of you. Kim, do you have any criteria where you might just say someone is irredeemable? Can any two people have a good marriage? Are there people who couldn't make it work with anyone? The word irredeemable kind of makes me cringe a little bit because I wouldn't be in this business if I didn't believe that people could change. I believe also that people give up on people too easily and too quickly. A lot of times we get focused on our spouse, whether or not they're going to change, and we're not willing to be really looking at ourselves enough. It looks like a person might be too difficult to be in a relationship with when maybe we're participating more than we'd like to acknowledge or admit. But if I'm going to be really honest, and that's the whole point of this, the short answer is yes. It's still like cringe, but it's true. There are people who can't be in a good relationship with anyone. And let me tell you who I think that person is. My boys are now men, and they're looking at dating, finding a partner. And of course, we believe in marriage for life. And so I'm teaching them and have always taught them what to look for in a spouse. That's harder than you might imagine because there's some messed up stuff going on in this world today. To have a really good marriage, you have to have some shared core values. If you're somebody who's a strong believer in God, you're going to struggle if you marry an atheist. You're going to think, oh, it's true love. We'll get past this. You're going to have kids. It's going to be hard. If you're somebody who has a high moral compass, stealing's wrong, cheating's wrong, and you're married to somebody who it does not bother them to walk out of a store with something they didn't pay for, or cheat on their taxes, or take something that's not theirs, you're going to have some issues that are going to be really difficult for you. You want to look for somebody who's really committed. You're not looking for the perfect spouse. There isn't one, the perfect person. You're looking for somebody who's not going to quit when it gets hard. But when I think about somebody who's irredeemable, here's what I think about. I think of two basic types of people. One is somebody really high on the narcissism scale. This is somebody who has mental, emotional, or personality disorder type things. Are they irredeemable? Some things are easier to treat than others, but you have to have one thing, and that is a person who's willing to look at themselves, and most narcissists are not. It's a spectrum. I've talked about this before. And depending on how high on the spectrum they are of narcissism, then no, they're not going to be willing to look at their stuff. I've never seen a narcissist in a marriage where they both thought they were happy. The narcissist thinks the marriage is fine. The other person, not so much. They're just trying to get by. The other type of person that I think about, which kind of covers a lot of different things, whether it's addictions or abuse or somebody who has affairs, all of it. But also when you think about the person who is constantly causing drama, I've worked with clients who are with, or they themselves are, examples. Drinking and driving and letting their spouse know it just to bring on stress. They're trying to manipulate their spouse into feeling sorry for them or worry about them or come and get them. Or the person who every time you get in an argument, they threaten to kill themselves. Or the person who every time they get mad, they pout or they don't speak to you for days and days. Or the person who is always right and can't hear criticism or any kind of different opinion. It all boils down to one thing, and that is emotional maturity. You have to have some level of emotional maturity to have a good relationship. But here's the thing. If you married somebody who has low on the emotional maturity scale, what does that say about your emotional maturity level? At some point, you were at the same place or close to it, or you wouldn't have gotten together. So be really careful whether or not you label someone this way that you're married to, because it may not be very helpful for you. If you don't have a level of emotional maturity, you're going to struggle in a relationship. And there's some hot messes out there. And I don't see that getting better until these people grow themselves up. And marriage is often a tool to grow yourself up if you're willing to do the work and look at yourself and not keep your focus on your pain or avoiding your pain. It's in that avoiding our pain that we often act out so badly. We're all damaged to some degree. I have done and said some things in my marriage that I'm embarrassed about because my emotional maturity level was so low at the time. Was I irredeemable? Thank God, no. But it took years of therapy and years of working on myself and a husband who wasn't going to give up on me to get there. The person's not irredeemable, but would be ready for some work. And if they're not willing to do that, some people live their whole lives in this stuff, then you're in for a ride. When I talk to my kids about what to look for in a spouse, I talk to them about looking for emotional maturity and how they handle when their feelings are hurt, how they handle it when they're insecure, how they handle it when they are hurting or mad, when they're angry, when they feel left out, and are they willing to grow and learn from it? Which in your 20s is a high, tall order. I hope that answers your question. Are people irredeemable? Yes. But they're the ones who are blind to themselves and how they're showing up in the world. They're the ones who are constantly focused on their spouse and what their spouse is doing, not doing, justifying their behavior because of something their spouse did or didn't do or say or didn't say. All right. Hope that helps you and somebody else. If you guys have a question you want me to answer, just send an email to askkim@themarriageplace.com. And I want you to remember something. I'm here with my husband. We are traveling in a little tin can for months. And we have a good marriage. We've been together 30 years. And there are just some days that I have to remind myself that we're both human and not to take it all too seriously. So I'm hoping everybody will mature, love each other, grow each other up, grow yourselves up, raise your love bar. A good marriage starts with you.